Hello, good morning. We're back. Edinburgh Festival Fringe is once again up to 3,500 pieces of performance that are here to delight over 3.5 weeks. And this is day one for me, Monday the 7th of November 2023. It feels as I have just arrived. I'm here in Nicholson Square and in the Nicholson Square Gardens, waiting for my first performance of the day that starts just after 9 a.m. It feels very much like I suppose it's supposed to, that there's a degree of excitement. There's been a number of issues over the last week or so. William Burdett-Coutts, head of the Assembly, once again making headlines saying that the Assembly are struggling, that they have got a loan to pay back and they need some sort of financial assistance. There has been many people talking about the future of the Fringe, the best arts festival apparently in the world, and whether or not it can survive. It's a perennial debate in its current format. Is it too big for itself? Noticed also some venues that are not back again, also that Assembly seems to have meandered into dance space. And I suppose one of the things that I started this year with thinking was whether or not I was going to try and find new venues that I hadn't been to before in that kind of spirit of the Fringe. And I've got a funny feeling that I'm probably just going to end up going to the same places, the old familiars, the favourites. And they are favourites for a particular reason. And I've got a huge number today. I've got 11 to go and see, which I'm kind of looking forward to, I suppose. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. But I'm doing it this year not just for Fringe Review but also for the British Theatre Guide, which is an interesting kind of other way of looking at things. So when my email went out for the first time this year, and I've been doing this for over a decade, I got directly emailed by a number of people trying to promote their shows. So as a help, and this is personal to me, it's not how every single reviewer does it, but if it's a help to you, here are the things that I noticed, the do's and the don'ts that will help you. First of all, don't state the obvious. I am inundated. There are close on 1,000 emails over the last 4 or 5 weeks that have come in to me. So when you say to me, I know you will be inundated with, I'm really sorry, but I'm kind of lost interest at that point. Secondly, try and make it personal. And I recognise this is really, really difficult because I have responded positively to those who say, hi Donald, I notice that your email's on the media list, and you went to see X last year, and that's very close to what we're doing. So here it is. Here is where we are. And I think that that's quite important. Thirdly, get the details right. Commune Arts is my company. It doesn't review anything. I work for British Theatre Guide and I do it for Fringe Review. The number of times I've become the Scottish editor of Commune Arts or the Scottish editor of British Theatre Guide, one doesn't exist. I don't think the other one exists either. So therefore, I'm already beginning to switch off. Next, tailor it to who you want to come. The fact that I've ticked comedy doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to go and see a lot of comedy. Also, I tend to look for things that are under the radar. It's not the first time I've turned to a publicist or a venue and said, have you got something that's not getting any reviews, that's really kind of worthy and that people are working really hard on it and you think they deserve something, and I'll come and do it. Because particularly for Fringe Review, we're a good Fringe theatre guide. We want to find things that are under the radar and promote them, so why not? So if you're going to look for me to come and review it, the last thing I'm going to review is something that comes into my inbox, got an award at the Camden Fringe, has got 4 stars and 5 stars at the Stage and the Guardian and so on. And that leads me to the next one. Don't treat me like an audience member. If you're already successful, why do you need me? If you're already selling out, as I'm seeing some of the publicity stuff coming in, I don't see the reason for coming to see you. You know, the Lynn Gardner or whoever, Matt Brown, probably have seen it and thought it was brilliant, and you're banking on that selling tickets. Donald Stewart at Fringe Review ain't going to sell you that many tickets, no matter how much my ego may take that as a dent. But if you are sitting there going, listen guys, I've got a really worthy piece, please come and see it, here is what it's about, and it leads me to the one thing that is a particular personal bugbear. Early on, probably at the beginning, name of it, where it is, time it starts, running time. If it's in a Word document as an enclosure, I've got 1,000 to get through, I'm probably not going to open it. I'm just being honest. Now, this is advice that I got when I was a fundraiser many years ago, and although many funding organisations, trusts and foundations particularly, may have millions in the bank to spend, the fact is they tend to be run by one secretary or one administrator. So if you want to get a positive response from them, what you have to do is remember that and not send them extraneous detail, huge amounts of things to read through. If you're clear, concise and ask precisely what you want, guess what? People are going to accept that you know what you're doing, that it's clear what you're asking for, and there is a bigger chance that they're going to follow up and they're going to support you. And it's the same with this, I think, for me certainly. If I see somebody comes in, this is what we're doing, this is where we are, this is when it starts, this is our running time, and this is how long we're at the Fringe, please come and see it, I'm more likely to buy in and do something with it. Also, don't start by telling me you can get me free tickets. Reviewers get free tickets. It goes back to where I started. Don't state the bleeding obvious. It's not something that I'm sitting there going, oh gosh, there's 3 in there, one I'm going to have to spend 15 quid to go and see, and this one's free, I think I'll go with the free one. It just tells me it's not tailored. Now, the other thing that is important is who is sending me the emails. I started off this year by answering all the ones that were earnestly from people who didn't have a PR, because I thought, you know, it's tough at the Fringe, we get it, you know, it's hard, you're going to have to go out flyering, you're going to have to do your own PR, you're directing, you're stage managing, you're appearing in it, whatever it may be that is your other job in terms of the production. So we want to support in some particular way. So I tended to start off, but it became a bit overwhelming. Secondly, good PR people. Now during the course of the year, I'm based in Scotland, so there are like Storytelling PR or Wendy Niblock, people like that who I know that are going to say to me, this is coming up, I'm pushing for this. Am I more likely to go and see their stuff they pushed than somebody else's? Not always. But a good PR is a help. But see the previous comments. Finally, anything that came in from venues will also get a bit of a notice. It's tough for venues, and I kind of get that. It's very difficult. It's a bit like choosing your favourite child, which ones to punt. The Space this year have been particularly good. Liked what they've done in terms of the one that really caught my attention was the top 10 unusual titles. I thought that was really good. I don't think they called it unusual titles, but you know what I mean. It was a different way of marketing, and I think I've picked one or maybe 2 out of that to go and review. So, excitement high? Aye, always is in a sense. Hope that I start this morning by going to see something early doors that's going to whet my appetite for the rest of the day. I'm really hopeful that what I'm going to see is going to be worthy of the time it takes to get here, worthy of the time it takes to spend here. And of the 11, what I'm hoping at the end of today is to sit in a car park and say, hey guys, I saw 11, a couple that were really good. But as always, I always find that hope is more likely to be the feeling than expectation. However, I've been wrong before, hope I'm wrong again. We will see how the day goes. It's oh, and the other thing that really annoys me, Mr. and Mrs. PR, whoever you are, right? A number of years ago, the Pleasance had forms. If you wanted to review a show, you had to fill out a form. It was that pain in the backside, and it was the only venue that was doing it. We now have a PR person with forms. And also Edinburgh Festival Fringe, listen, sending out an online form so that reviewers fill it in to tell you that we've done reviews. When we do it in X or Twitter, or call it what you are, we hashtag Edinburgh Fringe. We include in Fringe Fest. Support companies. Don't spend all your money in a big office. Spend a bit of your cash in supporting the artists who are here by, instead of saying to reviewers, going to tell us when the review's up and going to fill out a form so that we can put it on our website, going to give somebody specifically that job to trawl through and find those reviews that are going to be helpful to companies who are paying a fortune to be here. And PR people, it was bad enough with the venue. At least I knew what was on at Pleasance, but having a PR person who's looking for a form to be filled in order to get a ticket to go and review a show. I can't even remember what venues, what performances, what companies you're representing. What chance have they got? Never mind what chance have I got. Don't care what chance have I got. I'm going to go home. I've no paid you. Somebody else has. So, moans and gripes over, I suppose. Onwards and upwards. Today's the day. Day 1 of 6. Till tonight. Bye for now.